At RentScore, our premise is simple. We are educating the market to learn how they can convert their rent into equity, whereby they eventually get to own their first homes. So this is through leveraging affordable home loans, which are currently available in the market. And in simple terms, how it works is these are government-backed incentivized home loans, which are at a single-digit interest rate. So you're looking at anywhere from 9 to 9.9%, a fixed interest rate on an annual basis. And if you look at the repayments, they typically match what you'd be paying as rent. So the premise of it is we educate you on how to best get started so that you can convert the rent that you're currently paying into ownership. And thereafter, you're able to, build wealth and walk through with you during that journey of just becoming financially independent. Typically, we conduct site visits to, show our clients the various properties that we have in our catalog. So on those specific days, then essentially what that means is we'd have a jam-packed day whereby we'd be conducting site visits. And this typically tends to be anywhere from a Wednesday all the way up to a Saturday. But on days when we are at the office, then mostly it's admin work or consultancy work, whereby we now guide our clients in terms of how they can actually go about that whole process of getting started, from using our calculator to following up on ongoing transactions, to also just coordinating with the banks on the other side to follow up on, various stages of the offer letter. So it varies on a day-to-day basis. There are quite a number actually. I think what comes top of mind for us is we had, still do have a client who was about 26 years old, and she was moving from home. And she was keen on, she had just gotten her second job, and she was now in that journey of actually moving from her parents' home to now getting her own place. And the parents actually just spoke to her and told her, advised her to, get in touch with us so that as she's keen on now moving out and whatever she was going to pay rent, see how she can actually get started. So handling such a client who's relatively young give us joy, because it means that whatever it is that we are doing and the market education and the content that we are producing is actually being consumed in a positive way. And that's a good example of somebody who's young, a young professional who's keen on getting started and is financially savvy. So that has to be one of my memorable highlights of 2023. As a company, what I'd say our USP is, so there are a couple, in the sense that, so first of all, if you look at the team, I do have a co-founder who has a tech background. I come from a real estate background. So essentially we are a prop tech company. So in as much as we are focusing on the affordable housing space, our platform is actually very friendly to use. So there's the element of tools that we've embedded on the platform. For example, our affordability calculator, which essentially puts you in the mind frame of getting to understand how you can get started in your home ownership journey. So we show you, even with 150,000 as your income, how you can actually get started, and you're also able to see properties within your affordability range. So there's the dynamics of our co-founder mix. There's also the element of we vet and shortlist the properties that we onboard on our site. So typically it means that we've done lots of groundwork for you, and we've filtered that, so that at the point when you're actually getting to interact with these properties, then these are properties which are good and are worth getting involved in. And then also just the messaging, basically, as far as what I mentioned earlier, converting your rent into equity. So that's a big unique selling point. So for us, we don't just sell, we first empower you with knowledge. Then once you get to understand how to get started, then now at that point is when we convert you into becoming a client. So I'd say that covers it in a nutshell. Because you're playing a key role within the affordable housing space, so one of the key things we are working on entails basically developing a tool that developers who are keen on also participating in the affordable housing space can leverage to roll out rent-to-own options in the market. So essentially, this would be a tool whereby we are able to screen applicants based on their rental history and also get to understand their affordability, and then use that data to be able to make informed decisions as far as rolling out a rent-to-own model is concerned. So trying and testing to see how that can become a very useful tool for participants within the affordable housing space. As much as we are an estate agency, so we are big on technology, simply just so that we can able to make it a bit more user-friendly, make our platform user-friendly. But then in addition to that, there is also the element of having one platform whereby we are able to, again, leverage tech to collect a lot of data. For example, trends, market trends, insights, what our customers are actually looking out for. And basically we just mine that data so that we are able to have it in a central place and use it for informed decision making. So especially during that whole process of property development, from conceptualization all the way up to the end in terms of delivering like a really good product in the market. So because of tech, we've also had instances whereby developers are able to interact with us and just if they are keen on understanding what is fast moving, what people are more interested in, which locations are in high demand, tech has enabled us to have those insights. We primarily work with financial institutions. So if you think of banks, think of SACCOs. So ours is to ensure that when we're interacting with clients, basically we have like a variety of options. So we forged good partnerships with financial institutions on one end. Then on the other end, we also work with reputable property developers, so that we're able to now merge the stock in terms of property options, as well as the financial aspect of it, so that people are able to get started. So within the industry, those are some of the key collaborations and partnerships that we have. Outside the industry, we are also part of communities within the both startup space as well as other communities. For example, Unthinkable. So these are it's basically a community of entrepreneurs who are playing a key role within the ecosystem. So there's also collaborations outside real estate as far as those ones that I've mentioned are concerned. Obviously, as a visionary, the goal is big. We strongly believe that there are various ways in which we can achieve a successful delivery as far as affordable housing is concerned. And I know that it's now become a buzzword, affordable housing here and there, but then housing is a basic need. So it's a conversation that we'll continue to have. Looking at it, the goal is to empower as many people to be able to own, decent homes, across the board. Outside that, for those who are not able to necessarily purchase their first homes, there's also the element of offering affordable housing through rental solutions. So whereby you and I are able to rent decent, affordable properties, whereby we're able to raise, like sustainable communities where our kids can, have like a good atmosphere and can play around. There are other dynamics that obviously come to play as far as building that ecosystem is concerned, because you can't just talk about affordable housing without thinking about infrastructure, without thinking about proximity to workspaces. Ours is to try as much as possible to, do the best that we can within that space. And then, take it up from there. At the top of it, as far as the core values are concerned, is number one, professionalism. So again, within the space that we play, we do have, there are a lot of agencies out there, so to speak, who their goal is just to sell, like I'll sell and move on to the next client. So for us, we are big on professionalism, whereby we are able to, guide you through to understand how you can optimize home loans to your advantage, number one. Secondly, also at the point when it comes to selecting the property that you choose to have as your first one, then there's also the element of, just what do you really need to look out for. We don't want you to just buy a property for the sake of buying. So there's the element of professionalism, which obviously goes hand in hand when it comes to even the vetting process that we undertake before we onboard and choose to work with a developer. So number one, professionalism. Then there's also the element of integrity. Again, we are very honest, so we try our very best to give you the right information, especially when it comes to if it's something that you're not really aware of, you're keen on. And even it could be something as simple as, giving you like a rental projection. So we try and, as much as possible, that the information that we give you is aligned to the market, nothing exaggerated. There's also the element of teamwork. So we are a close-knit team, and each member's contribution is highly valued. So we try and ensure that all team members, first of all, there's synergy among the team members, and then secondly, there's respect and mutual understanding and mutual support across all levels and all roles. Those are the three core ones that come to mind. What I really love about the space is, first of all, in terms of location, the current place that we are at is very convenient for me, and also majority of our team members, because anyone who, if you're driving, then there's, it's easy to access. If you're coming through public transport, then you just, alight at the bus stop and it's a quick in and out. So it works for both ways. But then in addition to that, it's also the support that we receive from the team. In addition to that, then the other thing that I'd say is the community. So you get to interact with both entrepreneurs and also just young professionals within this space who are obviously doing various things. So there's also a lot of cross engagement, so to speak. Like a good example would be, for example, if I need tax services, then I'm able to, the person sitting next to me offers, tax advisory. Or if I need to, understand how, let's say, stuff within the ESG space works. So there's also somebody else who's doing that. So it means I do not necessarily, for a couple of services, I do not necessarily need to go and look for those services elsewhere. I can just find them within the space. So it's been a very cohesive space. And we are happy. So far, so good. We're happy clients. if you look at, so a typical human being, you're born, you go to school, you graduate, you get married, you get kids, you wait for retirement, and then eventually you die. So if you look at that cycle, I'd say if you can commit yourself to acquiring as much knowledge as possible, and then using that knowledge to empower yourself, then it means your future generation is secure, so to speak. And I mean, we need more of that. We need more people to be empowered. We need more people to understand how to build and create wealth. So yeah, if you have an opportunity as a young professional or as an entrepreneur to just learn how various dynamics work, then please take advantage of that and yeah, empower yourself with as much knowledge as possible.